News and narrative for XRP holders is becoming bullish. The way we look at the market is turning huge, but this is a reality. We all have to agree on this point, right? The number of active daily addresses does matter. And when the price of Solana is going up, we do see this happening. As of now, this is what's happening with XRP. Now, once you understand the fact that Bitcoin moved up just with 4x and Ether did that, you kind of say, okay, that's okay for XRP as the price is still lower. As soon as the price start moving up, you see that increasing. But the primary focus usually goes on to this. Price is dropping, right? You don't usually look at what's happening, why and where the price is going. You had a double bottom, which confirmed a reversal, at least on the short term. Then you went up, you had a breakout. Now you are coming back to retest this range, which is a good sign. But the point is, you need to look for which direction the money is flowing. As of now, the Bitcoin dominance still shows you this pattern, which is a bull flag. And inside that bull flag, we actually have this broadening wedge. We want to see which direction it breaks. I would personally like it to see going up to this point at least and doing a fake out. And then coming back down to this range. Now, maybe it's going to go back up after that, but I would like to see it dropping till this point. So while this happens, what would the Bitcoin do? While this happens, what can you expect for the altcoins? Welcome to the scientific investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10 person of this world. When we talked about these assets showing you that the momentum will increase on this phase, that's the higher momentum phase, right? That was a little bit early. Yes, with the SI family, you get things early. Some people consider that as a benefit or an advantage, whereas some consider that as a disadvantage. It depends on what type of an investor you are, but the idea shared here is still relevant when the price of that asset is traveling to the upside. You are now watching that maker is at 3,229, and initially when we shared this thought process, it was at 1,300. So it just went up $2,000 from there. That's a huge move. We followed it up with the patterns with each of these moves. This is at 2,000. Now it's at 3,000 plus. So to get these updates on the right time for the right asset, follow the SI family, where 1,000 plus members are readily taking benefit of all of my calls. Now let's jump into the price action. If this is what you see, and the Bitcoin dominance is to go up, what do you actually expect Bitcoin to do, or at the same time, the altcoins to do? Initially, if you're looking at the Bitcoin side, I would argue that Bitcoin has to slowly grind back up. I would be personally looking at this trend line for sure as a retest and a bounce, but that also creates an opportunity for the market or the traders to say there is a possible head and shoulder inverse happening in front of us. Now, if that's true, then this is your trend line. So you get 1, you get 2, you get 3, then you travel back to the upside. Fine. Now let's be precise. What's the measured move for such a move if it happens? That's like a 7% plus. You put that into the chart and you actually see that the price action can go close to 73, which would make it kind of a retest of the previous high. So if we don't breach that level, we can have volatility. And if in the next 24 hours after reaching there, we get rejected, that's a bad story. You're going to come back down. So your wick and your support at that point lies back down here, which means it can drop like this, 20 plus percentage. Now, while Bitcoin goes up, I would anticipate the altcoins to perform well enough. So that phase is going to be local highs in a lot of different altcoins. So when you go into the market, you will watch some of them giving you this kind of a narrative. Use it for your advantage. Now, when I say use it for your advantage, it's literally looking for these kinds of moves in the market in a lot of different assets. So guys, if you're receiving value and you haven't smashed that like button yet, I would request consider doing that. That supports the channel a lot. Now, getting back into the matter, you see the volume moving, fluctuating a lot, especially when you are looking at the assets which are moving now, and then you look for the assets with the highest volume, and you're like, whoa, SHIB has way more volume than XRP, than AVAX, than Render, than Cardano. I mean, think about that. That's the market. The euphoria doesn't actually make a lot of sense for some people. And the market goes with that because the some people is the majority as of now. So when the market moves, they put in a lot of money and you're seeing that. So you can actually see like how can you take benefit of what the market is doing. So you have different narrative in the market to look at. Whether you're a fundamental guy or a technical guy, you have this to take advantage of. When you come onto the Bitcoin dominance, say on a daily chart at least, you're still watching the possibility of the price action doing this or support here. So if we do make this as a double bottom rather than a continuation pattern of a rectangle, that's scary, right? Bitcoin dominance surges, it goes back up, but we want it to get rejected here. Slow down, come back down here, which is a good thing for the altcoin market. But again, that's something we want. We want to see whether the market does that. If it does, that now becomes the norm. A breakout to the downside is going to be huge. But at the same time, if you see the price action going to the upside, breaking this to the upside, that wouldn't look good. That means few altcoins which are highly correlated with Bitcoin will grind higher. Others will be slow. Now, there will be a few which will run ahead of Bitcoin, which you can identify from, say, altcoin to Bitcoin pair. That gives you an added advantage. Now, within the Bitcoin space, you'll have to go onto a weekly to understand where exactly we're standing right now. Because weekly candle close just came in and you just got a doji, which is fine. As of now, no one is dominating the market for that particular candle. So literally, if you do look at the price to volume, you had a lot of buying volume. You did not go much higher. Agreed, the buyers were slowing down. The next is like 90% of that in selling volume. But you did not reduce the price down to 633 or erase it there. Yes, sellers tried to push it down. They came close to 64,500. But then buyers came in and pushed the price back up. So the key thing here is going to be what the next 24 hours shows you. What the next 7 days shows you. If you see a little bit of selling volume and the price dropping to 63, okay, 73,900 close to 74 is the local high, and we will see the price dropping a little bit more. Not the 17% drop, but more like a 20% drop. But on a short-term chart for this one, which is a daily, it shows you there is a piercing candle. And piercing candles usually give you a sign of something. What is that? You can literally go into the market and look at like, okay, if you are watching a piercing candlestick, what does it actually illustrate? So this is the actual idea we are looking at. You actually literally got a bearish candle going to the downside. The next candle, you start here at the bottom, you go up, at least erase more than 50% of the previous candle. So if the candle does closes that way, it gives you an added advantage to say that now there is a possible reversal. Right now, this is what we are watching. The only difference here is that on the textbook pattern, you usually get a gap down. As of now, we have the exact same range. Other than that, all the other parameters are met, which gives you an added advantage to see, okay, there is a higher probability that this may play out. You'll have to literally go back into the price action of the same asset and see, okay, we had some of these corrections. We did the same thing. We erased those. Now, the thing is, you slowly went back to the upside, creating a new local high. If that's true, then most likely what we're going to watch is some volatility within this range of candle without erasing this candle, and then continuation to the upside, hitting a new high. Maybe after that, we drop bigger. We come back down to like 56, 57,000. We'll have to watch how the price evolves and where it slows down and what signals it shows when it is slowing down. That's going to be the key factor. But when you zoom in, looking at the price structure, this is what you're looking at. I would actually argue that we come back down, create a new shoulder here, and then bounce back up. One of the primary reasons to look at the trend here would be, okay, we have this as a trend line. We have a long range like this, where you can actually argue, fine, if we are at this support and we're bouncing up from here, a retest and a bounce should push us somewhat close to this range at least, right? 77, 78,000. That's going to be a good run for Bitcoin from here, because if Bitcoin is actually about to run 20%, I would argue altcoins would do 100%. At this time in the market, when you do see a lot of other pairs doing well with Bitcoin or against Bitcoin, that means money is starting to rotate into a lot of different altcoins, and those segments give you a key idea. In, say, payments, if it's moving to payments, which area is it moving? Is it moving to small cap? Is it moving to medium or large cap? This gives you an idea. If you're about to choose gaming or smart contracts, okay, if the money is moving into small caps, let me focus on the small caps of that industry. This kind of enables you to position yourself way better than a lot of people. Because when you do understand the fact, okay, the trend is to the upside, the price action is moving to the upside, and if we do break this, we're going to come down to 60. If we bounce off to this range, then the drop is going to be from there, which again creates another 21, 22% drop. Historically, we have seen this asset doing the exact same thing during all this time. So that wouldn't actually kill a lot of ideas, but these ranges does. When it does move range bound in these action and slowly make one high, then drop, create a panic, and then slowly go back up, what exactly is happening in the market? Ask yourself that. The market is saying, no, I'm going down. A lot of shorts pile in. The market goes back up, kick them out. And then suddenly it starts dropping, saying, I'm going to go down again. A lot of shorts come in and the whales kick them all out. Now everyone goes super bullish. At this point, everyone is bullish and they push the price back down, liquidating each and every one of them. So if that's true and you're watching the market like that, think about it. If this is that zone where the whales played with a lot of retail, what would this be like? Okay, we got one, we came back down, a sudden drop. And if we go back higher, this range would actually look more like what we had here. That's not the exact same pattern, but you get the idea. So the next one we are looking for is this. So if we can identify that happening here, most likely you have an advantage in the market, because a lot of others would be selling the idea of that it's going to break to the upside. So here, this is going to break to the upside, right? 100, 120, a lot of different projections are there for this asset. And with that comes the altcoins, saying altcoins are going to get hammered. Okay, fine. So if you do go onto the macro charts of these large cap altcoins, do you actually see the price slowing down? As of now, we don't. That's the reality, right? The price to RSI ratio kind of gives you the idea that you had a breakout, which is good, which is decent. You can actually put that into a line chart to get maximum accuracy. And even if you plot it to that extent, being conservative, you're still saying, okay, I'm doing the retest. If I do bounce from here for this particular asset, that turns into a breakout, retest, and a bounce. Fine. This would be your confirmation. But at that point, don't miss it. If you're still on the sidelines and waiting for this asset and it's about to show you something like this, that will look a little bit like this pattern here. The price action goes down, it actually breaks through, it come back down, retest, and then bounce off. So use that new trend formation. The new higher low gives you the idea of which direction you're going. I'm talking about this, the lower low, the higher low. That shows you there is some change in the price structure. Utilize that for your benefit. Now, if you're on the same segment on different assets, you need to look for how much they are correlated. Or if you are in a small cap in the same industry, you are looking at a lot of different things. The price action is dropping, fine. You need to look for the range. We discussed about this range as a buy zone, and right now the price is inside that. So it depends on your risk tolerance, whether you should be taking that or not, and the price structure understanding. If you understand the price structure, saying this was a support which turned into a resistance, and right now the price is above that, what do you think is going to happen? Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I believe this is going to happen. So if that's something which is going to happen in the small caps of payment, yeah, it's going to be soon where we see large caps within the payments industry doing something bigger, which won't be bigger in terms of the ROI compared to the small cap for sure. But on the market cap side and the market attention side, you will see that it is going to be much, much bigger. So short-term volatility is going to make the emotions imbalanced. But if you tilt your trading direction, your investment ideology based on those short-term moves, it is going to be so complicated for you to even consider that you're going to be profitable. So you need to have a balanced emotion, and that's the hard part as an investor. We're human beings, this is crypto, it's volatile, and it's combined with money. And that's where things get a little bit crazy. But keep your eyes focused on what the price action has done before. If this was a support which turned into a resistance and then a support, okay, anticipate it to come back down to that range, which is going to be a great buying opportunity. So usually the whales don't give you the exact range. They'll just bounce off a bit above that. That's why I say don't wait for the perfect target or the perfect measured move. Take it a little bit before that. It again gives you the best results. In my opinion, maybe I'm completely wrong in this one, but in a couple of months, you guys will see what I'm giving you and what's happening in the market. Because when you go back 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, you'll actually see whatever we shared here in the SI family on a macro to medium term, almost everything just came true. So if the price action is telling you that on a macro, you've completed these kind of moves, what are you looking at? The 1, the 2, the 3. Fine. But then you zoom out. You ask the question like, okay, that's what I see here. And you're going directly on a weekly or a monthly asking the question like, okay, if that's here, what's this? That's where you see, okay, the price action did show the 1. The price action actually went for the 2 and the 3. So if it's a macro market cycle, now you're arguing the 1 was done, the 2 was done, and this is 3. If that's 3, how high can the 3 go? That's where things get super crazy. So you'll have to highlight this range way more than this. That's one of the reasons why I say as of now, look for this range, not in the skies here. Maybe there is some potentials, but as of now, you don't see that amount of momentum. If it drops like this, make sure you understand what the price is doing, because there's going to be a correction for sure. It's going to come back down. If it goes up and fails there and come back down, this is exactly something which we have seen in the history. You should look at those price moves, whether on a weekly or a 3-day, and understand what the price action is trying to give you. That gives you an added advantage. Again, if you want help in those kind of understanding in the market to break things down like this, when the price is still low in different assets and they are about to go higher, look at the SI family, where thousands of members are readily taking benefit of what I'm posting there. So guys, if you haven't smashed the like button, do that. I see a lot of you are doing that. I'm really, really thankful for each and every one of you smashing that like button. Likes compared to the number of views is substantially higher compared to a lot of different channels, which I'm really, really happy with, because a lot of people who come here find value, and I'm really happy. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.